Winter has come to an end here, and the warmer mornings have been enticing the cold-blooded creatures out of hiding. This is our resident blue-tongue lizard. He's completely harmless, however, he does look very much like a snake, and sometimes as he's snoozing in the sunshine and I'm pottering about the veggie patch picking my morning greens, we do catch each other unaware, and I'm not sure whose heart rate rises the fastest. So it always takes us a little while at the start of spring to be reacquainted with each other. We'll be friends again in no time, or at the very least we'll learn to coexist in the veggie patch for the next 10 months or so until he goes underground again. The birds, however, might take a little more convincing that he's friendly. The end of winter and the transition into spring is such a beautiful time here. The days warm up quickly, but spring usually gives way to the hot, humid summer fairly quickly, so we've been spending a lot of time outside enjoying that sunshine while it's still enjoyable. Wow. I've just imported all of the footage off of my camera into my computer to start editing together this month's vlog because it's nearly the end of the month and I knew it was going to be random. Well, it's been a bit of a wild ride this month. There's been a lot happening both in my studio and in my personal life, and I haven't always been filming, like I haven't filmed consistently, so there's bits and pieces going on everywhere. I think I'm going to pass over to VoiceOver Deanna so she can fill you in on what's been happening. So you may remember in last month's studio vlog I was thinking about starting a Patreon page, and after a lot more thinking and a little bit of overthinking I decided just to give it a go. I mean, if I don't, I'll be forever wondering, and sometimes, you just have to take the leap and try something to see if it's the right direction. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I potentially waste a whole lot of time, but it's not really wasted time because I'm already learning so much in this process, and ultimately I'll learn if this is right for me at this stage in my journey, and that alone would be some very good intel to have. Now, I wanted to create something really special for Patreon, so I got to work on a piece of wood that I've been saving for a while now. Once I'd finished the painting, I started the process of digitizing it ready for print so I could turn it into some beautiful products for future Patreon supporters. I'm very, very particular about the reproduction of my originals, probably too much so. My perfectionistic tendencies definitely rear their head when I'm going through this whole process, and because it's always a bit of a saga, I've got a lot of resistance surrounding the idea of making fine art prints. It can be an extremely time consuming and frustrating process. And I know that I could outsource this kind of work, and maybe one day I will, but I do really like to have complete control of the colour matching process myself to make sure that I get the colours printing exactly how I want them to. For this particular piece, I actually wanted to change the colours just a little bit. If you follow my Instagram stories, you'll know that I was a little bit unsure about my colour palette when I was painting this one, and it didn't turn out quite the way I wanted it. So I guess that's the beauty of making reproductions. I get to tweak and change the colour palette as I like. So this package had lots and lots of samples. I've got little cards, I think. That's going to be very helpful. More card samples and some paper samples, gloss and matte, all the paper. I'm very excited about these. Oh wow, these are just amazing. The quality of this print, it's so clear. Wow, these are beautiful. I have this one, I've tried this one. Wasn't a fan of the texture for my prints. Hemp paper, so cool. Oh wow. That's the one that I have been using for years. German etching paper. It's really beautiful. I think I might try for something a little less textured this time though. I love that. Look at that style. That's beautiful. And this is some of the glossier ones. Good for photo printing. Even some canvas. Very, very cool sample pack. I also got this pack of pre-scored greeting card samples. I love the idea of it already being scored and cut to size, but I'm just not sure how economical this will be, or what the quality will be like when I've printed, so something else to experiment with. Colour matching can be such a frustrating process. This is just a small tweak of one setting and you can see the difference is massive. I'm just looking in my archives here because I've taken some notes in the past about the kind of print settings that I need to use with like particular kinds of paper. So hoping to find some clues here. It's been quite a while since I've done any fine art printing. I've got a terrible disconnect here between what I see on screen and what's coming out of the printer. Like, it's really, really bad. I think we're getting there. I think this one I pulled off the printer just now is almost the one. I'm not sure about the paper, but definitely getting the colours somewhere to where I want them to be. So today I attempted to film a Patreon launch video, which turned out to have quite a few challenges. So I got into a bit of a mad scientist mode for a while. I wanted to create some kind of monthly contest that every Patreon supporter in any tier had the opportunity to enter, and I wanted the prize to be really special. So I was determined to make a print on a slice of wood, and not just any print, but a museum quality print that wasn't going to fade over time, something that was sealed under a glass-like finish so it was virtually indestructible. And this whole process was really, really challenging. I won't show you all the failed attempts. There was a lot of disappointment and a lot of wasted supplies, and I almost gave up because I had actually tried to figure this out last year with my 100-day birds project. I tried and tried and tried to get this right, and in the end I had to shelve the idea. It just wasn't happening for me. But I finally had some success in the last month. I am so happy with the way this turned out. Can you see that beautiful glassy finish? Like, it's just stunning. It's better than the original, and I kind of want to keep it. And then it made me really curious about making reproductions from my 100-day project all over again. So I pressed pause on Patreon and I went down that little rabbit hole. So I wanted to show you guys the end result of my little experiment here of turning this original painting into a print. I think it went pretty well. I really like the finished product here. It's beautiful and glassy. You can see that the colors did get changed a little bit. This one's a little bit darker, and that's to be expected because the resin kind of soaks into the wood. But overall, I think it's really lovely. The thing is though, this was actually a very labour-intensive process, and I realised that it probably took me just as long to make the print as it would have taken me to paint another original, which kind of defeats the purpose. So maybe not something that I will keep exploring. So there's all that. There's actually something very big and exciting happening in my life at the moment, which I can't tell you about yet. I'm actually going to be taking patrons on that journey, but when I can say a little bit more here, I will. Maybe the next video will fill you in on my exciting news. For now though, I'll give you a hint. Come with me and I'll give you a hint. Are you guys ready for the world's most obvious hint? Here are 3 things that have arrived, been delivered this week in preparation. I know, it's all very cryptic. I mean, you would never guess.